housing market in Maryland is just like a game of musical chairs. Everyone's fighting for the same seats while the music is playing. But what most people don't know is there are 5 Maryland towns where nobody's even looking. While the rest of the state talks about market slowdowns, these places are seeing the kind of growth that creates generational wealth. Miss this window, you might be kicking yourself for years. No, God, please, no, no. Hi guys, I'm Nick Waldner with the Waldner Renters team of Keller Williams, the #1 Keller Williams team in all of Maryland and DC. And look, I've been helping families navigate Maryland's real estate market for over 20 years. And I can tell you right now, what's happening in these 5 towns is unlike anything I've seen before. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, investing anywhere in Maryland, you need to stick around. I'm gonna break down exactly which towns are booming, why it's happening, and what it means for your next move. And I guarantee some of these market shifts are going to shock you. They're definitely not making the evening news. So let me start by telling you about a place that saw 49.8% price jump in 1 month. Silver Spring. With more than 83,000 people and a steady population growth, demand keeps rising. And in a median household income of $98,000, you've got some serious buying power driving these prices up. Now, here's what most people don't realize about Silver Spring market. The median list price reached $599,000 in May. That's a massive 49.8% jump from the month before. But here's the surprising part. Homes are still selling in only 25 days, and they're going for about 1% over the asking price. That tells us that demand is still strong, even with prices climbing. The reason behind this growth is the $2.8 billion Viva White Oak project. This new development is bringing 17,000 construction jobs and 9,000 permanent jobs. And compared to Columbia's redevelopment, which we'll get to in a second, this isn't about upgrading an already wealthy area. Viva White Oak is building out a whole new section of the county. It's expected to generate $62 million in yearly revenue for the county once it's all finished. This isn't just about housing, it's about creating a full economic engine that's reshaping the region. But there's another factor that most buyers don't see coming. The Purple Line Transit project is already 75% complete, and it's set to open by the end of 2027. It will connect major parts of the region by rail. Smart investors are jumping in now before the major infrastructure comes online. What makes Silver Spring stand out is the amount of infrastructure investments supporting all its growth. Montgomery County alone spent $40 million just on roadways inside the Viva White Oak site. And when public and private sectors work together at this level, it shows a long-term commitment that builds real confidence in the area for buyers. By the end of Q2 2025, housing inventory surged. There was 127 homes on the market, up 84% since January. This surge was especially big in the larger homes. Inventory of 3 and 4 bedroom homes jumped over 155% in just 1 month. So Silver Spring leads in price growth, but there's one Maryland town that's growing even faster, not by home prices, but by people moving in. Let's take a look at why so many buyers or investors are focusing on Frederick. But before I show you Frederick's crazy growth numbers, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Look, there's a whole community of smart Maryland buyers and investors watching these videos, and they're using the intel to make winning decisions. Don't get left behind. When everyone else is getting the inside scoop on where the real opportunities are hiding, so should you. Silver Spring leads in price growth, but Frederick is winning a different race. One that could matter even more for long-term investors. The town's population isn't just growing, it is booming. The pace is so fast that developers are scrambling to keep up. Let's take a look at why Frederick's population surge is getting so much attention in Maryland real estate right now. The market numbers show just how fast Frederick is growing. In May of 2025, the median list price was $499,000. That's $233 per square foot. And with a median household income of $95,000, buyers here have the income to keep that growth going. So what's behind this fast growth? The county has a plan to spend $1.8 billion on big projects between 2025 and 2030. A big part of this money is going into school, $134 million to replace Brunswick High School and $105 million for the new Middletown Elementary and middle schools. Now, let me tell you why this matters for real estate investors. Frederick has become one of the biggest bioscience hubs in the country. More than 80 companies now call it home, and they employ over 3,000 people. Compared to Bel Air's government-backed stability, which we'll cover later, Frederick's growth is being led by private businesses. This is the kind of growth that brings jobs, and jobs bring lasting demand for houses. Big infrastructure projects tell you something's important. When a county puts $1.8 billion into long-term improvements, they're betting on growth that lasts. These aren't quick fixes. They're the kind of moves that shape a region's future. As of April 2025, Frederick County had 550,000 people working with an unemployment rate of just 2.9%. That's steady job market combined with big investment in schools and infrastructure. It sets up long-term demand for housing. This goes beyond short-term market trends. Now, Frederick may be growing fast, but Columbia has something even bigger: wealth. It has the highest income buyers in Maryland. Even local real estate pros are a little shocked at what buyers are paying. And here's why this area stands out. Columbia's where the money is, guys. We're looking at 106,000 people expected for 2025. And get this, the median household income is $129,000. That's the highest of all 5 communities we're covering today. When you've got that kind of buying power, you're looking at a completely different market than everywhere else. The market performance is in direct correlation to this wealthy group of residents. Median list prices were $522,000 in May of 2025. That's up 11.1% month over month. The price per square foot averages around $250. This shows strong value retention in a very established community. Here's what's particularly impressive about Columbia's growth path. Howard County's comprehensive downtown redevelopment plan aims to build 6,244 high-density residential units, plus 4.3 million square feet of office space and 125,000 square feet of retail space around the existing Columbia Mall. The county authorized $90 million in bonds for the first phase. It's secured by real property tax increment revenues. The level of redevelopment investment in an already wealthy community has a compounding effect. While Glen Burnie is creating value through transit connectivity, as we'll see shortly, Columbia is taking the opposite approach by building a completely self-contained community. What they're doing is adding modern amenities and infrastructure to an area that already commands premium prices. The unemployment rate in Howard County sits at just 2.6% today. That gives exceptional economic stability. What makes Columbia particularly attractive for long-term investment is its strategic location. Columbia benefits from being close to both Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. This dual market access gives employment diversification that many communities lack. Howard County maintains a low unemployment rate, 2.6% as of April of 2025, which I already said, but that's down from 2.8% the previous month. This economic stability supports the premium pricing and continued appreciation potential in Columbia's market. While Columbia attracts Maryland's wealthiest buyers, our next town is doing something very different. One big transit advantage that is changing everything. Here is one of Maryland's biggest transportation stories for 2025. We're looking at 74,000 people in Glen Burnie, growing at 0.8% annually. Now, that might sound slow compared to Frederick's numbers, but here's why this place should be on your radar. In May of 2025, median sale price was $420,000. That's a 5% increase compared to the same time last year. The median household income is $88,000, making this one of the more affordable markets on our list. But when you mix that with the smart redevelopment, you get real opportunity. Here's the transformation that's happening. Glen Burnie has seen a major redevelopment around a 13-acre transit-focused project at 7409 Baltimore-Annapolis Boulevard. This is a smart move. Glen Burnie has a direct light rail connection to Baltimore. The ride takes just 23 minutes and costs between $2 and $7. Compared to Bel Air, which we'll cover next as our steady performer, Glen Burnie is going all in transit to drive growth. While Bel Air is winning the long game by staying consistent, if you can live in Glen Burnie and get to Baltimore for under $10, that's a huge value for commuters. The Villages of Sawmill Creek project is a good example. It brings 246 new homes that include 120 multifamily condos, 90 2-over-2 condos, and 36 townhomes. The project received a $300,000 grant from Maryland's Department of Housing and Community Development for cleanup and demolition. What's especially smart about Glen Burnie's plan is the focus on building near transit. The average price is $209 a square foot, but by adding more homes and better amenities close to existing rail lines, they're boosting values without spending big on new transportation. Anne Arundel County had 307,000 employed people in April of 2025. That's a small bump, up about 0.37% from the month before. At the same time, housing inventory jumped. In May, there was 158 homes for sale. That's a 132% rise compared to April. I've shown you both fast-growing markets and steady, stable ones. Now I'm curious, what would you choose for your next investment? Quick price jumps or steady, reliable returns? Drop your answer in the comments. Glen Burnie's transit growth is exciting, but what if you want something more stable? There's one Maryland town that stays strong even through tough economic times. Bel Air's our steady performer. With 10,288 people expected in 2025, it's the smallest community we're covering today. But don't let that fool you. Small doesn't mean slow. There's a reason this place keeps attracting buyers. It's not what most people think. The median list price in May was $415,000. That's a 5.1% increase from the month before. Median household income is $69,000, making Bel Air the most affordable of the 5 towns we're covering. Homes here average $209 per square foot, giving buyers strong value for their money. Here's what makes Bel Air interesting for long-term investors. As the county seat of Harford County, Bel Air has steady government jobs. That brings reliable income, economic stability, even when the market goes through changes. Harford County is investing in quality of life. They set aside $2 million for new trails and green spaces. And the biggest project is finishing the Maupaw Connector Trail. There's also $300,000 going towards designing a value road park. These kind of improvements make the town more enjoyable and help home values grow over time. Bel Air's location also adds to its strength. It's near both military and civilian government job centers. The mix of jobs gives the town a layer of protection when the economy slows down. The market here shows steady performance. Most homes sell in 27 to 30 days, and that's quick enough to show demand. But not so fast that it causes big swings. And the trail and park upgrades we just talked about, they're a sign that the county is focused on long-term improvement. What makes Bel Air stand out is its slow and steady strategy. Other towns might see fast price jumps and fast drops, but Bel Air offers consistency. A lower cost market with a solid demand and is a smart investment. For buyers who care more about steady gains than chasing the trends, this is a strong place to consider. Each Maryland market has its own stories and hidden details, and knowing them can help you make smarter moves. So, there you have it, 5 Maryland markets, each with its own story and its own set of surprises. From fast-growing Frederick to steady Bel Air, from Columbia's high-end vibes to Glen Burnie's transit push and Silver Spring's massive redevelopment. Every area offers something different. The key is to knowing which one fits your goals, your budgets, and your lifestyle before you make that move. And I'm here to help with all of that. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home here in Maryland, send me an email at hello@waldnerwintersteam.com. The best homes in these markets move fast, and having the right plan now can save you time, stress, and money later. My team and I know these areas inside and out, and we will help you make the smartest move for your goals and your budget. And if you're wondering how these 5 markets stack up against each other, you're going to love my next video. I'm ranking the best places to live in Maryland from worst to best, based on value, lifestyle, and long-term growth potential. Click here to watch, and I'll help you find out which area should be at the top of your list. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.